This is my ode of thanks to the people I worked with at a former job. I want to thank the manager for hiring me and promoting me like right away. That was pretty cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I also, the secretary of the company, thank you for doing such a great job. And I thanked her when I was there. I said, in case anybody doesn't take the time to come and thank you and let you know that you're appreciated, I just want you to know that you are appreciated. I got to be one of the staff members' Secret Santas, so I'm very thankful for that. That was pretty fun. I think I actually did record some Christmas stuff and put it on my YouTube channel at the time. I got to teach kids their sight word quizzes, which was pretty cool. I got through all of the sight word quizzes before my job ended, so that was pretty neat. It was like a mission accomplished type thing. The teacher was so kind to me, really, really kind to me, and worked along with me so cooperatively. Another teacher wasn't super nice to the kids, but honestly, she was just on her way out. She had had enough. She had taught there for years, and she was burnt out. She had seen the kids change over the years, and let's face it, as time has gone on, children aren't as respectful in a lot of aspects, and she just had it. She was done. And then there was the other teacher that taught the younger kids. She was a friend. She was also my ride to work a lot of times. I loved her. She was awesome. So thank you to her for listening to me and picking me up for work and letting me vent and being a light to those kids and welcoming this little Spanish girl that had so much trouble understanding any type of English. Between this teacher and I, we worked with her and taught her how to understand and worked with her in her own ways that she would get it, you know. And she started making friends of the kids there, and it was so beautiful to see. But she always expected her to be, you know, on task like the other kids. She didn't ever give her like special treatment, but she definitely gave her special consideration, and that was so impressive. There was another teacher that was so sick, just coughing all the time and struggling so badly. And I just always felt so bad for her, and I pray right now that she has experienced healing and not so miserable, because I hurt every time I heard her cough. It hurt my lungs, you know. But she was an awesome teacher, and she dealt with the older kids, and whew, that was a challenge in itself for sure. Especially the toughies that like to just really give you a run for your money, you know. So I'm just really impressed. I was very impressed with her. And then for more of the older kids, there was a gentleman teacher that was a great father and a great teacher. He had pictures of his kids and his wife in the classroom, and he treated those kids like his friends, and they did fun stuff together. They did lab experiments in the classroom, because this school was an elementary school, so it didn't have labs. You know, it didn't have like a science room. So he would experiment right in the classroom with them. And he would celebrate them. And he'd let them feel, you know, like he cared. And like he saw them. He really saw them. He was impressive. He was a great force in their life. And, you know, he was going to lose them into the next grade. They were graduating. And I prayed that God would heal his heart, because that's hard when you get close to kids and then they move on. They take a piece of you with them. There's no doubt about that. Every time I worked in a school, I took a piece of those kids with me. Another teacher, she is going to a new job. She was such a good-hearted person. She found new ways to reach the kids that seemed so unreachable. She got those kids to treat me with dignity and respect and love and kindness. And they hugged me. They'd see me walking down the halls, Missy, Missy, and run into my arms. And yeah, it was awesome. And none of it went unnoticed or unappreciated for even a moment. Every time they said good morning to me, it meant everything to me. For another person there, a counselor, who actually counseled me at one point when I was struggling with just the way one of the students was being handled, and she validated me, and she assured me that he was being taken care of and that he was being put into good hands. And then for another teacher of the younger kids, who, when I first got there, was not super patient with me. She got really angry with me because she wanted her room totally cleaned, and I set some papers aside because I wanted to ask her, are these papers you wanted me to sort through? I didn't know what to do with them. So she kind of snapped on me the next day, and that hurt my heart really bad. But I forgave her for scolding me. I knew she was young. She'd only taught there like a couple years, so I forgave her. I let it go. And then the lady that I worked firsthand with, the young lady with the younger kids, she was so good to me. She had such a temper with those kids because she did not, it was her first year. She had a short fuse. They were getting on her ever-living nerves, and she learned to be patient over time. I'm sure she's doing much better now, but it was hard to see her struggle, and I did what I could to support her. Because, you know, I've raised 4 daughters myself, and she didn't have any kids, so it was a really good chunk of time that I experienced at that job. Then there was a little guy who was learning disabled, not Down syndrome, I'm sorry. He was autistic, and he would have regular meltdowns. And I got to work firsthand with him, and I would take him up on the stage behind the curtain, and we would jump on the rebounder so he could get his sensory issues taken care of and get all that out. And he would then run through the halls, and I'd have to follow him. And at first it was kind of hard, but it was such a beauty seeing him grow, seeing him learn, watching him learn to read and get excited about books. And then he transferred into a special ed school, and that broke everybody's heart. Then there was another little guy, and he was such a challenge. He would just push the buttons of every teacher in that school, including mine. He tried to push. But I would sit down with him, and I would talk with him, and I would comfort him, and I'd hear him out. And he ended up transferring too, and that was hard on our hearts as well. And then the music teacher. Oh, what a good lady. She brought joy to those kids. She was tough, but she brought joy. And we pledged allegiance in song and in words, pledged allegiance to the school, and I had such good memories, such good memories. And then in special ed, one of the ladies that she used to just totally add everything wrong with the kids, and the kids would get it wrong, and she'd say, good job, and I'd be like, don't you mean that it's this answer or that answer? And she'd be like, no, it's okay, don't worry about it, whatever. I'm like, okay. So I just overlooked it too, because she was overlooking it, and I didn't want to cause any problems. But she was fantastic with those kids. She really was, and they could not pull anything over on her. I'm pretty sure she was promoted by now, as well she should be. And I thought maybe I was replaced by her at one point, and if I was, good, because she deserved it way more than I did. She's so fantastic with those kids. And then we had people come in and talk to the kids from different groups, and it was bittersweet, honestly. It was very bittersweet. As much as I enjoyed the groups, everything that starts has to come to an end, and it was hard. It was hard when the groups would end. I would feel a sadness about it. But as my daughter says, there's a season to everything, Mom, and she's absolutely right. And my season ended just like those groups ended, just like the kids transferred. Eventually, I had to also part. I prayed over people as I left. I want to share a little bit of that prayer with you real short, real briefly. Let's see. Thank you, Father, for letting me have this cry and letting me say goodbye. I really appreciated doing that. Thank you for all the friends and the faces, and even the nurse that ended up leaving that I grew close to before she headed out. She had been there for so many years. The kindness of the gym teacher, and such good people. Thank you, Father, for this release and this new launch that you're launching me into, whatever it is. I guess my biggest fear right now is that maybe nobody will want me. But I know it's not true. Intellectually, I know it's not true. You open doors and shut them. I love you, Father. Thank you for letting me have this time to just talk to you and release everybody and everything and move on and bless everybody and everything. You are a good, awesome, wonderful leader of my life. You are my King of Kings. You are the comforter to the brokenhearted. Thank you for new things and a new season, new friends. Thank you, Father. I commit my relationship with some of my friends that I'm leaving, and if they're meant to go on, if those relationships are meant to stay, I thank you that you orchestrated those things and you decide which direction they go in and help those things go on between us if it's meant to be. Let them reach out to me and keep in touch, maybe get together or something. That'd be wonderful. But whatever happens, I give you all the glory, and I thank you that you have my life and my future in your hands. And I thank you that even now, you are preparing the next thing you want me to do. Protect my kitty cats, because when I was praying this into my phone, Mimi came and sat in my lap. My cats are my loves. They're my heart. And a big part of my life. Thank you for sending me all the wonderful things that you have, all the blessings, Father, and I trust you 100%. And I release this job as I move on to whatever you have next for me. All the memories, the experiences that were so good and so bad and so wrapped up in so many things. Thank you, Father, for an even better thing next time. My life is in your hands. And then I sang this song, and I'm going to sing just a tiny bit of it. My life is in your hands. My heart is in your keeping. I'm never without hope, not when my future is in you. My life is in your hands, and though I may not see it clearly, I will lift my voice and sing, 'cause your love does amazing things. Lord, I know my life is in your hands. I trust you, Lord. My life is in your hands. Thanks for listening.